The Meander Valley is a fascinating area of Tasmania. It's a massive agricultural area southwest of the city of Launceston, characterised by rolling plains and large towns. Notably, this is also the site of Tasmania's first ever railway, running from the town of Deloraine into Launceston. In this video, I'm going to look at the Meander Valley, the potential for returning rail service to this area, and why I believe it might be the best rail corridor for passenger service in our state. Hi, I'm Jess, I run the YouTube channel Tasmanian, and in this video, I'll be showing you my idea for regional rail to the Meander Valley. Firstly, what are we actually dealing with? The area we're dealing with in this video is the town surrounding the Western Railway from Deloraine to Launceston. It's a predominantly flat area lying between the Meander River and the Cooperina Nyara Great Western Tiers. There are 4 towns on this corridor, relatively large by a Tasmanian standard, as well as numerous smaller towns and localities. This rail corridor opened in 1871 and was the first powered railway to operate in Tasmania. But if you want to learn more about that, go watch my video on the Launceston and Western Railway. Passenger rail service on this corridor lasted all the way until 1978 when the Tasman Limited was withdrawn. Since then, this line has been predominantly used as a through line for freight traffic. In 1994, the stub end section from Launceston Railway Station to East Tamar Junction closed. It was redeveloped into the Inverest precinct, including the University of Tasmania. Tasrail freight trains depart from East Tamar Junction heading towards Bell Bay, Brighton and Burnie regularly. There are 2 to 4 buses a day from Launceston to Deloraine. Most continue to Devonport, but on school days only there's a service to Mole Creek. Longford and Perth are served by separate bus services, running hourly to Perth and less frequently to Longford. There are around 30,000 people living in the regional catchment area of potential rail service to Deloraine. So, what do I propose specifically? My initial concept is for a bi-hourly service from Deloraine to Launceston, with high frequency at peak hour. A set of carriages hauled by Tasrail locomotives will be functional initially, but in the long term investigating dedicated rolling stock, be it locomotives or DMU, would be good. Now, I'll outline my route. Starting from Launceston, the station will be located near Newstead College in the inner east. A shuttle bus will connect the station to the CBD. The service will head southwards, close to the North Esk River. A station could be placed in Norwood, serving the outer southern suburbs. Another option would be a stop in Relbia, serving this rural community currently lacking any form of public transport. We then reach Western Junction. A stop here could serve as a park and ride for commuters from Evandale, plus its proximity to Launceston Airport could enable airport passengers to use a connecting shuttle bus. Continuing on, we descend down a steep gradient before we enter the flatlands, which will dominate the remainder of our line. A stop in Perth is absolutely necessary, serving the large, predominantly commuter-based town. Continuing along, we cross the South Esk River on a set of bridges before reaching Longford. This would be another major station, located at the northern end of town near the shopping plaza. Continuing along, this is the longest gap between stations of the line, about 27 kilometres, so it is largely comprised of long straight through the countryside. There's potential for a station at Hagley, but I don't think this will be viable from day one because of its large distance from town. Thus, the next stop is Westbury, serving this major town. We're all past the halfway point now, and the line runs close to the Bass Highway for most of the remaining route. We reach the small settlement of Exton, where there will be potential for a small station. Before long, we leave the highway and reach our final station of Deloraine. We serve this large town, as well as a big catchment zone of smaller towns like Mole Creek, Meander, and Elizabethtown for park and ride or connecting buses. Alright, so now we have the route. Why do I think this should happen? Firstly, the actual corridor. This is an incredibly straight route on a Tasmanian standard, with long sections without bends unheard of in this state, as this line was originally built using a broad gauge similar to used in Victoria before being converted to the Tasmanian narrow gauge. This means much higher top speeds could be achieved. Secondly, the sheer number of large towns in close proximity is also unheard of in Tasmania, writing a serious case for this service. All tracks existing infrastructure, and a few bare-bones stations and some passing routes could be built relatively cheaply. The only problem is carriages. Tasmania, well, we don't have any. You'd either have to find some from New Zealand, Queensland, or Western Australia, or build new sets, both of which would be very expensive. Most station sites are currently owned by the railways, and the station in Launceston is the only one that requires significant work, as it's sited an active rail yard. In addition, the corridor to the Meander Valley has a substantial number of commuters heading to Launceston every day, including many students. By placing the Launceston station directly next to Newstead College provides easy access to education for regional students. In recent years, Longford and Perth have become increasingly satellite towns to Launceston, and a lot more traffic heads from there to the city. I believe that considering most freight traffic on this line runs at night, you could reasonably manage a decent level of service along with one or two new passing loops. All platforms would have to be new, but otherwise this could be done with mostly existing infrastructure. That's the end of the first part of this video. The second, shorter part will discuss an extension to Devonport or Burnie to function as an intercity service. From Deloraine, the line enters more hilly, low-density areas curving northward. The only intermediate stop I propose is at Railton. Before the 1980s, the line ran through the major town of Latrobe, but a bypass means the line no longer enters town. The line would terminate at Devonport, where a station can be built at the Roundhouse Park in the city centre. This has direct access to the CBD and bus interchange, with easy connections to East Devonport, the Spirit of Tasmania, and Latrobe. I have a video discussing my ideas for rail service from here up to Burnie and Wynyard further along the coast, which you can watch if you're interested. I think that ideally you'd have a time transfer in Devonport to change trains, similar to what happens with the intercity bus, to spare rolling stock from running all the way to Burnie and back. However, I believe the lower density and slower running time from Devonport to Deloraine, plus the overall lower traffic on this segment, and interacting with frequent cement trains from Railton to Devonport, means this section is unviable and a bit harder to construct to begin with. Alright, this brings me towards the end of this video. This has been a shorter video than normal, and a fun idea I've had for regional rail to the Meander Valley. If you want to talk about transport in Tasmania, or this corridor specifically, come and join the Tasmanian Transport Hub Discord server. Next week, I'll hopefully have a video out on the history of the Bell Bay Railway, the last major line built in Tasmania, which is now over 50 years old. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time on Tasmanian.